Hi, my name is Sylvie. Welcome to my first ever podcast. This is What They Don't Tell You. I wanted to make this podcast as a space for moms to come and moms to be to really embrace the reality of motherhood, because there is so much happy and amazing moments, but there also is a lot of reality. And I don't want to say bad because it's not bad. It's all a blessing, but we all have to find the patience within ourselves because we are being challenged on a minute and hourly basis, no matter what, when you have a child. So I wanted this to really be a community for women to come, know that they're not alone, and know that it's okay to not be all there all the time, and really focus on yourself and motherhood as a whole. I wanted to welcome my first guest, Donna. Donna and I have been friends before we were mothers, so I thought it was only fitting that I invited her because now we both are mothers, and ironically, she got pregnant 3 months before me, so she was kind of my, I guess, warning per se of what would happen throughout pregnancy. She would text me and be like, might happen, or you might feel this way by this week. So I wanted to welcome her and see what her, I guess, wow moments or aha moments were when you first became pregnant. How did you feel? What were the emotions? Scared.
Felt super scared. Also, my pregnancy was a surprise. So we were not prepared. And I felt like, firstly, because I wasn't prepared, I didn't plan to be pregnant. So it was more, I wasn't in the mindset, like ready for a child. I was like, my husband was like, I couldn't drink. I wasn't mentally prepared. The change that came with the baby, I was like not happy. Like I wanted to be with the baby, but then when I was with him alone, I was like anxious, and like I wanted to control every aspect of my schedule, my life, and it became so hard for me. And we had, thankfully, help, a live-in nurse that helped teach us everything about taking care of a baby, which for me was like a huge relief because I was suffering from postpartum and depression. And I think that that's something that we don't realize. We want to take on everything that we can alone. We're the mother, we're the nurturer, we're everything, but you need to ask for help. It takes a village. You need to ask for help and not be ashamed to ask for help, because there's so many things that you can't control that you need to take time for yourself and make sure that that's a big priority for you.
Yeah, and I think that's why our stories are so different, is because I personally didn't have help until I had a third child. So
Wild. Do not recommend.
Honestly, looking back at it, she's right. You do have to have like almost the balls to swallow your pride and ask for the help. Like I had my last two babies. I had 3 kids in 3 years. My son was 2. I had a newborn who was full-blown during the COVID era. The world was shut down. I didn't want anyone to touch her. I didn't want to be around her, let alone let a stranger come into my house and start helping me raise her. I was like, yeah, right. So then I ended up getting pregnant with my third, and my mom's like, you're going insane. Like I knew I was mentally going insane, but she had to sit me down and be like, I'm getting you help. Like when this child gives birth, like when you give birth to your third, we are gonna have some sort of full-time help. And it took everything out of me, and I didn't want the help, and it was really scary to me, but I got the help, and it made me more sane. It made me know that, okay, the diapers are gonna be refilled, or I'm gonna have someone to help me hold the baby while my other one, I have to change her diaper because I had 2 babies and 2 diapers and 2 different bottles, and it was a lot. My last 2 are literally 13 months apart, so she was almost...
You practically had 3 in diapers.
Yeah, almost, yeah. Raph, I made sure he was potty trained before I gave birth to Nina because I wasn't doing it.
And potty training.
Yeah.
Potty training.
That's a whole different...
Fun times.
Different discussion on its own. But you're right. You need to ask for help, and you need to tell yourself it's okay.
Yeah,
and
you really can't be ashamed of asking for help.
Yeah.
Which I was.
Me
Even
too.
though I had help living in my home, it felt like you feel like a guilt.
The mom
you
guilt.
know, doing enough, or you're not this. So even if you do have time away from your baby, you still have that guilt that makes you almost not enjoy the time that you have. away from your baby.
Exactly. I find almost society puts a stigma on you need to be home, you need to breastfeed, you need to do this, you need to make sure you always look presentable, make sure you always tie your shoes on and make sure the socks are matching. I mean, like, literally, society wants you to be this like cookie cutter mom, and that's not the reality of life. And a lot of people go through different steps in their life that, you're right, you blossom and you become someone, but you have to embrace the journey. And I find a lot of us with the postpartum depression are mourning our past and are mourning the journey and are not fully appreciating that this is a miracle that we're holding in our hands, and this is a blessing that so many people, unfortunately, are trying so hard to do.
Yeah.
With IVF, with so many different forms of surrogacy and things like that, and we are almost getting slapped in the face by obviously sleep depression and your hormones are out of whack and there's a lot your body is different. I mean, you feel out of your bones. You do feel out of your bones, but you have to hone in on yourself and you have to tell yourself, this is the biggest blessing that happened to me. And if everyone in this world came in through a mother, then I need to know that I'm gonna be okay too. And I can't be so scared of all of it.
I know.
And I need to embrace it.
But it takes time to not be scared.
Definitely.
It takes time, it takes experience.
Yeah. So for your second time around, were you as
Chilling.
scheduled? No, you were good.
Chilling. I was like, whatever.
If they're crying.
Except for with the sleep training. With the sleep training, I was like very, very strict for both, and with not giving pacifier, which was not easy the first.
That's hard.
With Jack, my first, sweet Jack, he never took the pacifier. With my second, he took the pacifier and we took it away at like 6 weeks.
Wow.
Which was...
That's young.
A challenge because it was right when he was supposed to start sleep training. So I wanted him to self-soothe versus finding the pacifier, because then it makes sleep training more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Because for me, my kid she's 2 and she still has a pacifier. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the pacifier, when you're sleep training, it's like you got to find the glow in the dark ones. They do have glow in the dark ones.
You got to fill the crib with them.
You got to fill the crib with them.
So they know where to locate them.
So they could just grab and go, because a lot of moms complain about, okay, they're sleeping the night. Okay, they don't want the bottle. Okay, they don't need a diaper change. They just want the pacifier. And the moms are so frustrated of the fact that the kid can't find the damn pacifier in the crib.
Addiction starts young.
Yeah. So you're right, the self-soothing is definitely something to think about, but you only learned this because of your first. You have to learn through your failures in order to kind of correct them.
Well, my brother had like a big passy addiction.
Okay.
And I heard the stories of him. I didn't, but he did. And my mom had to tell him to throw it out the balcony.
Wow.
And he threw it, and then it was bye-bye passy. But that was like at 3 years old.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going through 3 years of pacifier. It also messes up their mouths a lot.
So, some of them, they have new ones nowadays, but yeah, no, I feel you. It definitely gives them a bit of buck teeth and all that.
Mine sucks on a blanket instead of a pacifier.
But do you agree they're going to find something to
Yeah, they're going to find something. But I would
Some kids
rather
find
that.
their fingers, though, and then what? You're stuck with your thumb until you're 8, 9 years old. It's like, then what?
I feel like it's
That's
a
no
personality
fun.
thing. They're born how they, you know.
I don't know.
Because
For
Jack
me,
never anything, nothing.
Really?
He just wasn't.
Oh, I just wanted him to stop crying, Rafael, so I made him fine. So it was funny, actually, at 3 months, he didn't like a pacifier anymore. And it was like the Avanti one that you could stick your finger through. It's like teal.
Yeah.
They come with the little stuffed animals attached to it. I'm like, oh my God, so cute. Like, we should totally get him to use that one. 3 months comes around, he starts spitting it out, crying. I know he's tired. I know I fed him. I know I changed his diaper. I know he's I know the schedule, and he's not falling asleep. And I'm like, something's wrong. And it was the pacifier. And I had a little baggie for my registry of different pacifiers. And I went, okay, this one's not working. Okay, this one's not working. Boom, one worked. And he kept it till he was 2.5. And it put him back to sleep. And I started buying that brand, because I know some moms are like, oh, this pacifier doesn't work, or my kid doesn't like a pacifier. It's like, in my opinion, you just didn't try all of them. You need to it's
too much work.
Obviously, it's too much work.
I disagree.
But it is easier sometimes.
I disagree. I was like hardcore schedule.
Yeah.
I was like
And I was not.
I would go, right. You were more like freelance. You
Yeah.
would go with the flow, bring the
Yeah.
baby everywhere. I
Yeah.
was not. I had
Yeah.
a schedule. I knew when he was eating. I knew when he was napping. I would go home to take his naps.
Yeah, no.
And I always napped him in the crib so he would get used to sleeping at night in the crib. And that for us helped a lot because I always knew, I mean, it was harder. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
it was
you
very
kind of-
difficult and you have to
pick
sacrifice
them over your
a
life
lot.
almost.
Right. With the second, we were a little more still with the schedule, feeding schedule, ounce schedule. We knew where we had to be in order to start sleep training him.
Oh, no, I
It was
wasn't.
naps at home still, always. We had walks scheduled. Everything was always scheduled. And then when they became like 6 months, then it was, we can have some
Not scheduled time.
yeah.
Some free
Like
time.
on the weekends, we would say, okay, whatever, let's go with the flow.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't sleep, but there were car rides where Julian in the back of the car was yelling for 3 hours because we missed his nap and we were
game
not in
over.
schedule. There's benefits to both.
Exactly. For me, it was a bit different. So for me, I was, I guess, laissez-faire. Like I basically...
You winged it. You went with the
yeah,
flow.
it was. I also have a very big family, so I have a lot of family events, and
Yeah.
Friday dinner was not
These
an option
babies were
for us.
partying.
Yeah, like my son, basically, even till today, he's 5. He has full blown FOMO. I mean, he went to sleep last night. He woke up yesterday at 6:30 in the morning. Went to sleep last night at 10:30. I said, but how?
My kids went to sleep last night at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, they're on a schedule. My son, I mean, I don't know how he does it.
Also,
I
I
don't
don't
know how he
want
has
to.
this energy.
I don't want to see them at 8 p.m.
You think-
I don't want to see them at 8 p.m. anymore. It's
The be-
over.
The best part is I'll be laying in his bed with him for an hour and a half, and
No,
he's still
also not something I
and
do.
he's still like, "Mommy, don't leave." And it's like, you have to draw a line, and you're right because with my daughters, I drew a line. My daughter, I can put her in her bed, I can put her in her crib, and I can leave, and that's where I learned my mistake, and that's where I learned the hard way, I guess per se, of let him sleep wherever, let him do whatever. And let him go. It doesn't matter. He can go to sleep at 8:30, 9:30. Tonight we went to dinner at 10:30. And it came to a point where, no, I needed a schedule. And the more kids I had, the more of the schedule.
The easier it was with a schedule.
Yeah, but I almost craved that schedule because at least they would be in sync.
Right.
At least they would be together. I mean,
Right.
having one up till 9, 10:30 and the other one goes to sleep
Right.
at 7 and the other one at 8:30. You don't have
Right.
your time with your significant other. You don't have your sanity to yourself. You don't have, I mean, yes, they're at school all day and yes, you have things to do, but it's nice sometimes to have a minute and be able to watch something on TV that's not Coco Melon or Blippi.
We're a Blippi household.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? So it comes down to a point where they control the TV. Like, my husband has to even like argue with my son, like, oh, it's football night. And he's like, oh, I don't want to watch football. I want to watch some YouTube channel that he likes. And it's like, how did my son convince my husband? I think I saw like a video.
He ended up not watching football?
Yeah. Like sometimes he'll watch it
Wow.
live on his phone just to sit with Raph on the couch and let my son, it's like, it's so ironic and it's so funny. And it's like, oh, he went and got this like nice TV to watch his sports and enjoy. And he's sitting there
To watch
on, like,
Coco Melon in 4D.
he's sitting there on his 4x6 iPhone or whatever, like not even watching HD. So it's ironic how we let our kids walk all over us, but me
We don't.
personally. But you do have to put your foot down. You definitely have to put your foot down. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to discuss with you is also, what did you bring to the hospital first time around that you were like, I don't need that second time? And did you pack smarter the
You need
second
to pack
time?
a sweater for your husband. He's going to be cold.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
They freeze.
It's freezing in the
Freeze.
hospital.
We're sweating and they're freezing.
Yeah.
Like, lower the AC. Pajamas, baby bottle, swaddles.
You did bring, okay, so she already decided that she wasn't going to try to
I
breastfeed.
wasn't right. I
that's
decided
why you
I
brought
didn't
your
want to.
bottles.
Yes,
Very smart.
I brought bottles. I bought like the infant like pre-mixed
Yeah,
formula,
yeah.
the
They offer that
2-ounce
to you
bottles.
sometimes at the
They give
hospital.
it to you, but then then they ask for, they want to see which formula works best. So I would get maybe one of each
To see,
just
yeah.
to see which one sits better on their stomach. Ooh. Hospital with Jack, I brought, because you have with the second, no one cares anymore. The first, you have a lot of visitors coming to the hospital to see you. Pack face masks, depuffers, beauty things
spa.
to like feel a little bit good, spa out the day after you give birth or that afternoon after you give birth to
You
like kind
deserve
of
it, yeah.
depuff and like feel a little bit better. Hand creams because it's so cold.
And dry,
but
yeah.
obviously things that are not going to hurt the baby's skin. Clean
products. That's smart. For me, I really made sure to first pack a long phone charger. That short one.
phone chargers are important.
Yeah, that short one. The plug is like behind you in the hospital bed, and like you're always like, oh, what does it say? Who texted me? Like my phone's charging. Like no, just pack a phone charger. And for me, I packed a colored one because if it's a white one,
They
I'm
get
gonna
confused with the other ones.
yeah,
and
I'm
then
gonna
she's
lose the
unplugging
wire.
herself.
I'm gonna forget. Yeah, God forbid. My IV, there it goes. Yeah, so for me, it was like that colorful phone charger that you can find on Amazon or at a Home Goods or anywhere. They have them like that, like in the little aisle, the little tchotchkes there. And then also for me, I had a portable. Everyone has the hatch. Everyone has like the plug-in light. I had a portable mini light because for me, I was breastfeeding, and obviously you have night feeds, but the hospital only has like one light. Like you gotta look. She's having an aha moment. So now we're gonna have baby number 3 soon.
No, we're not.
Okay, but that is what I packed my second and third time around, and it really made such a big difference for me because I was able to use a soft light that didn't hurt my baby or me during the feeding.
I sent mine to the nursery.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
I was like, take him. I want to sleep.
Yeah. But can we also discuss the fact that not everyone tells you this? Society wants you to breastfeed. Society wants you
They're
to...
so mean at the hospital if you don't breastfeed.
Yeah, they look at you like you have 8 heads.
They're so mean.
Like literally. They're like, how
They're
dare
like,
you?
Yeah, they try to convince you into it.
And
And
wait.
they make you go to a breastfeeding like circle group thing.
Oh, they made you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
at
do that.
Memorial. And I was like,
Maybe because I
why-
already decided
Why do I need to
yes.
go?
Yeah.
They want to brainwash you into it. I mean, obviously, breast is best, but I think a fed baby is best.
100%. You need to realize that you spent, they say it's 9 months, but it's really 10 months. It's 40 weeks on average of making a child.
Yeah.
And now the child's out of you, but they're still hungry from you. So it can last up to a year, it can last up to longer. And you are basically in a limbo of my body is not mine. And a lot of women feel that way, unfortunately. And that kind of spins into the postpartum and things like that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do breastfeeding. 'Cause
You
I was
weren't
like,
mentally
no,
there. You didn't want to do it. And that's
no.
totally fine.
I couldn't give another piece of myself away.
But unfortunately, you couldn't tell your body to stop producing breast milk, right?
I took cabbage leaves and I put them in the freezer. My caretaker was telling me this. She was like, buy cabbage,
And it
peel the
works.
leaves off, and wear them as wear
your
them
sports
as a
bra.
bra
Yeah.
in your bra.
Exactly.
And it was hilarious.
And you have to basically,
and you smell not so great.
you have to trick your body to stop producing milk.
Yeah.
It's actually
Some
insane.
hospitals will give you a pill, but
Okay.
I tried
It
and
didn't
I wasn't
work.
VIP enough to get the pills.
But the pill's dangerous, apparently. It's like not...
Maybe that's why.
yeah,
Because
I
I
don't-
know some people that have had it.
Because I've never heard of the pill.
And when I asked, they looked at me like I had 12 heads.
yeah.
They're like,
No, so
we
then-
already don't like you because you're not breastfeeding. You think you're going to get a pill?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to try to convince you to do it otherwise. Yeah, so basically your body is made to continue. Your body is made to continue feeding this baby, to continue nourishing this child that just came out of your body. And your body almost enables you to keep going, don't stop. Like the ball's rolling and we're just going to keep going. And even when you do breastfeed, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to stop. You can't
heard
stop.
it's painful.
You can't stop cold turkey. And not only that, when you start breastfeeding, you have to make sure you feed your baby or you pump, one or the other, every 2 to 3 hours. Because if you're tricking your body,
Oh, yeah, you engorge.
not only do you engorge, you can have pus and blood come out, which is obviously disgusting. It's called mastitis. It's not, it's a condition. Women get fevers, they have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's not fun. And people don't tell you this. They're like, oh, I can have my mom help me do the night. I can sleep 8 hours. No, you just missed 3 feedings. That's very dangerous to your health and your situation, what's going on. Sometimes you'll feel the pain, but when you're sleeping through it, you might not. You might wake up with an infection. It's very dangerous. So if someone is helping you in the middle of the night and you are breastfeeding, you need to set a timer. Okay,
Right, and
instead
at
of the
least
3
pump.
hours, at 4 hours, like I push it an hour maybe. but I need to pump and I need to pump X amount. I can't just pump for 2 minutes. I need to pump. Let's say my baby is eating 5 ounces at that time. You need to pump those 5 ounces minimum because your body needs to say, okay, I'm making this breast milk. The baby's hungry. I'm going to keep making it. And the way to slow down is the opposite. So for me, my doctor told me, ironically, my RAF was 3 months. My cousin was getting married in Montreal. I didn't want to bring my breast pump. I didn't want to bring all the bags and the freezer. Now they have that.
Little cute ones.
Yeah, that you could put in your bra. They didn't have that at the time. You had to hook up to like a cord and a plug, and it wasn't wireless. It was not fun. So I asked my doctor, it was a week before I was going on vacation, and she's like, I'm like, how do I stop breastfeeding? I'm leaving next week. She goes, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I'm leaving next week. She's like, you can't stop.
You're too late, Sylvie.
She's like, you're in it.
As always, you're too late.
Yeah, literally. She's like, you're in it. I go, what do you mean I'm in it? She goes, it's going to take you 4 weeks. I said, 4 weeks to stop breastfeeding? I mean, I felt stuck. I was like, she's lying. She must.
So would you do pump and dump?
No. So I had to take, I ended up breastfeeding till 6 months. I took my pump with me. I brought him to the wedding. He was at the wedding.
Came to the wedding.
Yes, I had a nurse watch him. Yeah, she wouldn't have brought the kid to the wedding.
I would never bring a kid to a wedding.
But I was breastfeeding and I needed him there with me or else I had to pump. So it was one or the other. So that's what, unfortunately, a lot of moms have to do and don't realize. And if you go on vacation without your kid, you do have to pump and freeze or you have to pump and dump. But you can't just think that because I'm not with my child, I'm not going to produce. So it took me, so I had to go from 15 minutes of pumping to 14 minutes to 13 to every day, gradually making it down to like 2 minutes of pumping and then that's it. And then my boobs wouldn't get engorged and that's really how you stop. But no one tells you how to stop. They just kind of tell you, breastfeeding, good luck.
They don't tell you anything.
No, they don't.
They don't tell you anything. They say, here's your baby, you can't bring him back.
Oh, not only here's your baby, but you can't pick up anything heavier than your baby.
Oh, I know.
And you obviously have a car seat with your child. You're not.
Yeah, the car seat is so freaking heavy. Everything's heavy. Well, now they're like,
but you can't pick it up.
New age.
They want you, and then God forbid you got a C-section. You really can't pick up the baby. You really can't do anything. Then what? You go home.
It's hard.
You have a doctor's appointment one day after. Yeah. You have to ask for help. You really do. You have to ask for help, and you have to understand that everyone goes through what you're going through. Everyone's having the thoughts that you're having. Everyone's feeling the emotions you're feeling. Everyone's having this outer body experience. We're all having it. I think for me, that's why I wanted to do this, is because when I finally gave birth, my mom was one of 8 kids. I found a newfound respect for my grandmother. I was like, she did this?
She's a champ.
8 times? No epidural, no nothing? My grandmother ended up having 3 kids in 11 months. 11, let me tell you how. She had 1 kid.
Twins.
Got pregnant and had twins and didn't know she had twins until they came out. This was 55, 60 years ago. There was no ultrasounds. There was a midwife in her room and 1 kid came out and she goes, I think there's another one.
Holy.
So imagine that moment where you not only are prepared to have another kid, you already have a baby, but you're having 3.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I've had a newfound respect for women, mothers everywhere.
I agree. I think that after I gave birth, I looked at my mom differently as well, with more respect. Before, she's like very Latina and like speaks with an accent and like we have like lost in translation a lot of times, even though I speak Spanish, but when she speaks English, nonetheless, childhood, you don't realize everything that they sacrifice, everything that they go through. You take it for granted, and then you have kids and you're like, holy bananas. I was not a nice kid.
Yeah.
And now payback's a bitch.
Yeah. When your mom is like, I hope your kid is just as bad as you. It's like,
Are you kidding? My mom laughs at me when I complain. She's like, oh, what are you laughing? Why are you so angry, Donna? Yeah. And I'm like, do you see this kid? She's like, whatever, no big deal. Yeah. Why are you taking it so to heart? I'm like, because I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm in it.
It is my heart and he's messing with it.
Right. But like to her, she thinks it's funny now, the torture.
Yeah.
Or when the kids are wild, she's like, what do you want him to be? The kid that sits on the couch and says nothing? And I'm like, yeah, that's I would love that, actually. She's like, no, this means that he's intelligent. And I'm like, I don't know.
They always find a way to be like, no, he's going to build things. He's going to do
Spanish, lo que
things.
quieres, un pendejo? I'm like, I guess not. I don't want a pendejo.
But I want a little bit of sanity here and there.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Today I visited my kid at school for his birthday, and
How
he
was that?
was so nice, so calm,
Different child.
so shy, smiley, giggling within himself. I was like, who is this? He had to call his friends over to the table, and they were like, okay, call over your friends. And he was like, Abigail. I'm like, who are you? Who are you? Where's your at-home voice? Because that voice it projects.
Yeah, oh, I know. Yeah, me too. When the teachers are like, oh, he was so good today. He listened. He helped. He was the door holder. I'm like,
So nice.
my son? We
I
talking
know.
about the same? You
Yeah.
sure you don't have 2 Rafaels in your class?
When they
and
tell me that, I say, good for you.
at least
good
one of
for
us
you.
can hone in on them, right?
That's great.
I know.
But they say if he's good at school, then that's what matters.
It is all that matters, apparently.
Yeah.
But they
If
do.
he's shit at home, then
There's nothing you could do about it anyways.
right.
You're stuck with
what
them.
matters is how they are at school. So we did pretty good.
Yeah, considering the teachers are saying they're doing good, I'm all for that. I am. I know, right? Sometimes I'm a bit embarrassed. I'm like, she's like, I wanted to tell you. I'm like, oh no, what did you want to tell me? And she's like, he did so great today. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, what did she want to tell me? Like, oh, we're good. We made it. Yeah, seriously. Did you have a baby registry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what did you put on this registry that you actually kept second time around and you were like, you know what? That's quality.
On the first registry, I put that egg chair. What's the brand? Bloom?
Yes.
Don't buy it.
Mine lasted, but yeah, everyone hates it.
I don't know. I had large kids and they were like slipping and sliding out of that thing. On I really love the Stokey.
Everyone loves that
The
one.
what's it called? The one that converts. It goes from baby to.
It is a 4-in-1 basically. Yeah, it's a
yes.
Stokey. Yeah.
Amazing. Best thing ever.
Okay, so that's a good recommendation.
A pack and play. Don't get bottle warmers, wipe warmers.
Well, I got wipe.
Yeah, but
warmers
I
are
remember
not
when you
worth
came
it.
to my house once and you were like, I need to warm the bottle.
Okay,
And I was like,
so
okay.
for me, that's breast
She
milk.
gave birth to Prince Charles.
Okay,
Like they can have regular water.
it's different. No, it's okay. When you breastfeed, you're walking around with bags of milk basically, and they're frozen, and you need a
they're
bottle
frozen
warmer.
to room temperature, but not warm.
No, they do say warm for colicky babies helps soothe. But then again, I know you had your bottles prepared with still water and your babies never got, I guess, never tasted that warm water. So they never knew the difference and they were fine. So maybe it is a myth. Maybe it is the whole old way of motherhood
And
of
warm
it
wipes.
needs to be warm. Yeah, no,
Like
the
I've never
warm
had a
wipes.
warm wipe in my life.
No. The warm
Neither
wipes
is my
are not worth it.
child.
And
No.
apparently they get crusty at the bottom.
But people get like psychotic about treating their kids like as if they're, they're not part of the royal family. They'll be okay.
yeah, we all survived, right?
Yeah. Like, and they only know what you offer them.
Exactly.
Right. So if you don't offer them that, then they think that that's what's comforting and it makes your life less complicated.
Yeah. And I had my cousin, who's a mom of 4, actually, she said second and third time around, she also wasn't breastfeeding. And she's like, I don't need to warm it. She's like, why? She's like, they drink it out of like pantry. It's room temp. And I stopped doing that. She's like, I was driving myself insane, always looking for hot water, always looking for warm water.
Not me.
So
What else? Bibs. Like the Aiden and Anais ones
were
that
the
go on the
best
shoulder.
ones.
I was never dirty.
the circle ones.
The circle ones.
Those are my
not
don't
like
mess
the
with
typical.
the outfit. No. Those are
The
horrible.
big ones.
So the one she's talking about on a registry, they're called a burp cloth and a
Burp
bib.
cloth.
But you don't realize
Right.
it's actually a bib because they have 2 little snaps. I'm gonna link them here and put a picture maybe, but they have 2 little snaps and they actually go around, they drape around the entire baby shoulders and all, because when babies spit up, they don't spit up. They sideways and this, and then the outfit's ruined and then game over. So for me, I actually loved those for nighttime because I would do the bath. They would be in pajamas, whether I gave them a bottle or breastfeed. They were in that until they fell asleep. So whatever.
Yeah, same.
up.
I was changing them every
yeah.
hour. He had a new bib. He always
Exactly.
looked clean.
The bibs are really where it's at. Yeah. And then
What else? The stroller.
Which stroller
You
did you
loved
like? I know. I love Bugaboo as a
bulky
brand, honestly.
strollers. I bought like a Up a Baby Vista.
Yes.
Up a Baby Cruise, sorry. Ended up hating it because it was humongous, heavy. No, thank you. If you're a practical mom, get a small travel stroller that has like the possibility to recline all the way back and go with it, because they're only going to use it for 3 months in the newborn stage. And if you have a large child like Jack,
well, you guys
and
are
even
both tall.
Julian was very big, like they outgrew the bassinet in like that.
3 months,
And it was a
4
waste of
months,
money.
yeah.
I ended up selling it on like some random thing or giving it away. Small strollers, 100%. Make your life easier.
Not only just small strollers, I think the idea of you don't realize that you're on your own half the time with this baby.
Yeah.
You need to be able to fold and put this stroller away in a timely fashion on your own. You're not going to have your significant other and be like, hey, put the stroller in the car. It's like, no, you're with the baby. You went to go do some errand and it's on you. So you need to, like, even when you're pregnant, you should be asking when you go to the store, can I fold it? Can I lift it? You should be able to do that pregnant, because I did it pregnant every time. I had a double stroller and it was
and then
big.
when you have the second kid, you have a big stroller and then it really takes a toll on your body.
Yeah. And
lifting it into the trunk.
Yeah. And for me, I found registry-wise, I got from another mom friend of mine. She told me, make sure you put the toddler car seat for not only your car, but for your husband's car or partner's car as well on your registry. And at first I'm thinking to her, but why? And she's like, it's inevitable. You're going to need a car seat no matter what.
But now they make them so easy to swap. They're like,
but do you really want to swap though? Because what if I'm not with him and he's at work and he needs to go pick up the kids? He needs a car seat in his car.
We would get like a lower grade one for the husband's car.
Okay, so for me,
So
I
we
just
did like
added
a
it to
cheap,
the
like
registry.
Chico, Target, whatever, and not like the Nuna.
Exactly.
In Rava.
The Nuna
That's
Rava
like
is my favorite.
$700.
Okay, but
Like, you don't
if
need
it's
two.
on your I have to. But
But
if it's on,
she's not practical. She's like the mom who wants it all. I'm like the mom who wants to get rid of it all.
but I also have 3 kids, and I'm gonna tell you right now that those Nuna car seats have lasted me 5 years already.
They're probably expired.
No, and they're still going. They look amazing. You can wash the
I
whole
hated
thing.
them. I couldn't wait. My kids are tall, so I had the advantage of taking them out of the car
seat,
earlier
Yeah.
and make them forward facing earlier because of their height. And that for me was a game changer. And then I automatically changed changed all the seats to like the convertible ones that they
regular
sell at
face,
Target
yeah.
that is like a booster with a back with a 5-point harness. Because
But you had the advantage because your kids are big. My kids,
Right, your kids
unfortunately,
are
are a bit
small.
small. My son was even able to sit in that car seat
like
until
my kids
he
are
was
out of
like
car
4.
seat.
Yeah.
Is Raph in a car seat?
No, not anymore. But the 2 girls are, and I'm able to
Julian's not
keep
in a car
them
seat.
in the car seats. And it's, for me, it was more quality over quantity, because at the end of the day, I knew I wanted my kids quickly. I didn't know how fast I was going to be having them. I didn't realize I was going to be using these items back to back to back. But I used and abused these car seats, and I can tell you now that the money that was spent on them was well worth it, at least in my opinion, because they are still lasting. They're not deteriorating. I mean, my mom,
they're good quality
My mom has
things.
the Graco
They're just
one,
humongous.
and the Chico one, and they have a sleek one now, but it is obviously more expensive.
I don't know. That Rava one is like nuts.
No, there's a new one, but it's less bulkier than the Rava, much less bulkier, and it's like flatter, and it's able to even sit like an actual toddler or kid, because you can pull the seat all the way up. So it's like a
Morphs.
like a transformer.
I like those. The ones that are all in one are the best ones to buy, because you don't want to buy everything
Exactly.
for every stage.
Yeah,
Not
so
worth
for me
it.
that worked out.
Get 4-in-1s.
And then for me also the infant car seat that was the best was the Nuna Pipa Light
Yes.
LX. And make sure you
Same.
get the LX, because if you
it's super
don't,
light. It's like 5 pounds.
Exactly. It's actually
The other ones are like
lightest,
12.
and it makes the biggest difference when you're holding a baby that is actually gaining weight and not
Yeah, like when you bring them to the doctor and you're like shoving them on your
like
hand.
when you struggle that first visit and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to keep doing this. It's like, no, you're gonna have to keep doing this, and they're gonna keep getting heavier.
Yeah.
It's not even like it's gonna get better. It's just gonna get heavier and harder. So at that point, you should commit to at least an infant good car seat, because for me, I got 3 rounds of it and it held up and I washed it. I got navy blue. It was gender neutral, I guess, blue as they say for boys, but whatever. Navy blue, my girls were fine. They didn't know they were in a navy blue car seat. They didn't care. I also think that's also bonkers how a lot of people are like, oh, I'm having a girl, I need to switch to pink. It's like,
no.
My daughter is in my son's crib that was wood and charcoal gray, and she is fine. And it's okay that I didn't buy her a gold and purple crib.
Agreed.
She survived and she's good.
What a trooper.
Right? She made it. So I think that's also a bit crazy. Like, there are some people that I guess think it's okay. Like, okay, all of a sudden I have all these things. I already had a child, but now I'm having a different gender. So I must change everything. And it's like, yes, it's exciting to get the different colors associated with those genders.
That want all these things. It's not the kid.
It's for us, exactly. It's not for them. They don't know if their blanket has airplanes on it or flowers.
Kids are very simple. They don't need anything. They don't even need toys. Give them pots and pans and some wooden spoons.
And a remote. And your phone.
And a remote.
Yeah, all they want is the damn remote.
And if you buy a fake remote, they will know.
Yes.
They're gonna know that it's fake.
You can't trick
It has
them.
to be the real remote.
You know what I would do? I had an extra one from the other TV, and I would take the batteries out and just give it to them. And I'm like, go, enjoy your life. Out of
the
all
simple
the toys,
things.
out of all the toys. And then the best is the wipes. They just want to empty the wipes.
Well, doesn't Lovery, what's it called?
Yes, they have
Lovery
yes,
has like a disposable, but you can make one yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Get a tissue box, get
and
some
just add the fake tissues in and call it a
right.
day. Yeah. The kids love the simplicity and all of that. But I wanted to thank you so much, Donna, for being my first ever guest on my podcast. And hopefully we can definitely have you back on a different subject. And looking forward to starting this podcast journey with all of you. Thank you so much for everyone that listened in. And I hope you all have a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye.